And we're back, folks. In the last episode, we sent Lem and Mina off to their to their paradise world, and unfortunately, we didn't get into much trouble from the powers that be for that. So we're still alive and kicking. We also dealt with our tracker, so hopefully that will stop us being hunted and we continue the main story. But yes, from there, we have a few outstanding things we can do. We can explore the inner circum up here, which actually might be a nice idea. So let's head on up. So we got these points of interest that we have to bring online, which we can't do. We got the hub. And we do have some pretty nice... That will cost us cryo, repeat action, that will lose us energy. But let's just see what we can get. Get a bit of money, which is always nice. And let's try and access. There we go, weightless wandering. And then there's bliss, sip mechanic. Ooh, this actually might be a way for us to get off. We also have Kiso capsules, which is a sleeping area we can stay in, which are like really expensive. My goodness, they're expensive. We have a lounge, which we can buy a space meal at, which probably fills up more of our energy. So, bliss. No way, more trees. You take another substandard. You take those substandard filters back to the sit hills you sold you them. You hear the voice echoing out of the bay as you pass, and moments later someone who you assume is more trees drifts out of it, dragging a platter of filter cartridges by a tether. Hey, you out there. The same voice echoes out the entrance. Looking for work? Yes, you say. I just need a hand to get in here. The voice is coming from someone shorter than you expected. She is floating in the microgravity of the docking bay besides a half-deconstructed life support unit that looks like it might explode at some point. She points a wrench in your direction. You know anything about these things? She doesn't wait for an answer. Scratch that. Just help me with the casing. All right then, you say. She deftly moves around the unit, making space for you besides the central system in the dented case. Just take a grip here and lift out and up. Then I can get in and unbolt it. She whacks the unit with her wrench. Whole thing is twisted to shit. You dig your fingers under the casing and lift it away, the metal squealing from the force. She puts her hand under, spinning the wrench to slip out the bolts, catching them in her other hand. Then they spiral free. All good. The casings lifts off, revealing the ornate pipes of the unit's heater. She whistles at the mess of ducts and filters. By the way, everyone calls me Bliss. She pats her on the shoulder, offering little in the way of explanation. Is this your bay, you say? It is now, yeah. Whether I like it or not, she looks at you like she means something. Bliss starts pushing and pulling at the ductwork, looking for fractured pipes. We haggle for contracts, but the good ones get snapped up quick by bigger bays. So here I am trying to get this M2 unit running again for one of the freelance tugs. Small time stuff. Hold this. She rips out a ripped pipe and hands it to you like a freshly caught fish. We turn stuff around fast and neat, and maybe we get a chance of landing something bigger. Something starts hissing in the unit, and Bliss quietens it with a precise whack. But to be honest with you, the way things are going, I can already see the other crews licking their lips, ready to take this place over. She looks up at you. I'm almost out of luck. What happened, you say? Long story, some people just can't keep promises. She keeps working, twisting aside pipes with care. There we are. Bliss pulls her hand from deep inside the unit and out it comes, clutching a lumped cube scorched black. This thing must have overloaded and popped half of itself out of the side. You both duck down to the side of the unit and spot the exit wound, its edges fringed with scorch marks. Grab me a replacement converter from the racks, will you? Head to the rack. You kick off. You kick off from the unit and drift over to the wall racks, where a catalogue of parts sits secured in clamps. Coloured tape and scrawled notes flutter across the wall. A complex organisation system of Bless's own design, or just a big mess. You pick out the right converter. We need an M2. You grab the back of the part and push back to the unit. Bliss holds out an arm and you pass it over. The converter spins gently as it leaves your hand. Perfect, you passed. She straightens up from the unit. That is, if you want to work here. Bless rubs her hands clean, looking down at her palms. Truth is, I need a hand here. My partner skipped out of me and left me with a whole mess. You seem like you might at least be better at spotting a clean air filter than Moritz. I'll be happy. I'll consider it, you say. Wait, she frowns at the racks. That's not all of it. My old business partner, they've rinsed the place, emptied the accounts. To bid for other jobs, we need to put down deposits, bring in parts, pay tug fees. For that, she looks nervous, embarrassed. We need chits. An investment, you say? Exactly, partners, straight split. Bliss settles herself against the unit and looks off into the distance. I guess I look pretty stupid. Here I am asking any random passerby to be my business partner. No offence. She manages to smile. I get it, you say. Thanks. He meets your eyes. I appreciate it. Bliss goes back to working on the unit. Look, it's no pressure. You find the money, or you find someone who has, or just forget the whole thing. Up to you. She gestures for you to help her refit the casing, and you both slot it back into place. I think I'm good to wrap this one up for now. But if you're into it, come back and we can bid on a new contract. Something to get our teeth into. Something that pays. She gives you a serious look. You can trust me. I don't say this stuff lightly. You kick away from the bay, propelling yourself back to the handholds at the entrance. You slip out with a wave, and as you do, something slips back in. You hear Bliss as you glide down the passageway. Moritz, I swear to God, if those filters aren't clean. You smile. Seems like this could be interesting. So we've got a new story. So how much is he wanting to help? So he wants 100 credits. Okay. So we can do that. And that goes a lot of our money. Let's descend back down the bay. Okay. So I'd like to try and scarf some more Havana-jaded data if we are able. Got a bit more there in the tanks. Let's see if we can grab a quick meal. Okay. Then we can hit the bed for the night. Not the best hand I've ever seen, I'm not going to lie. What do we need? We need 2 for them, so let's first of all grab that bit of data. And that's fine. He's in. He's got shit parts. Haggle over price. My energy's terrible, but I want to save it for other things, and he's online. Emphis is preparing the Durell caps. He has had heavily adapt his recipe, he says, but the smell is already incredible. It emanates from a strange purplish white bulb you have never seen before, and it's slicing it finely. He brushes and slices the mushrooms and then places them in the oil with the sliced bulb and the oil. They caramelize there in that well-worn crucible. He adds liquids transparent and opaque and then turns down the heat. A sprinkle of leaves is the final touch. We have a moment, Sleeper, he smiles. Do you have a story? Something in the scent of the food gives you a feeling of nostalgia. Something distant and melancholic. It seems like a story should match the feeling somehow, and maybe you will feel better for telling it. Recall your oldest memories. You start by explaining that when you are emulated from a person, many of your memories are left behind. Perhaps it is an intentional part of the process, a way of keeping sleepers ignorant and malleable. Or perhaps it is a side effect of the imperfect emulation. You admit you don't know, you don't really know. What you do know is that some memories survive, and that on occasions they come back to you, like shadows passing overhead. You detail one recurring memory, which, despite returning to you with enough regularity for you to think it's familiar, always fades as quickly as it arrives. You will struggle to explain the feeling of being whole for a moment, that comes with this memory, and then how that wholeness slips away to leave you feeling like you have forgotten something important, but just can't bring it to mind. Memphis nods throughout, cooking as he does. With deft and skilled movements, you start to trail off when you realise you can't find the words to explain how the memories you do have feel like both yours and someone else's at the same time, and how that always fills you with certain sadness. The sadness of remaining forever unknown, even to yourself. Memphis finishes cooking and meets your eye. Sorry, sleeper, for your troubles. He puts the wok to one side. I appreciate you sharing with me, he smiles. I hope it lightens you a little. He passes you a bowl and heaps the jewels into it, their yellow colour mixing with the pale sauce in holes and blooms. Eat. The dish is delicious, filling. It warms you as you eat it in a way you weren't even sure your body could be warmed. It is a small mercy, you think, that Asan Arp left you this pleasure. Many of the features of the frame are there to simulate human experience, you know that much. Emulated minds cannot be rewired, so their need for embodied experience must be met. That is why you breathe even though you do not need air. Without that simulation, the sensation of drowning would be unbearable. Food serves another purpose. Your frame is able to metabolize it, to produce energy from the raw material. Vitamins and minerals are excess, of course. Your frame only needs raw power. So much is wasted, and yet while you eat this food and feel that warmth, nothing feels wasted. It all means something to you. As you finish, Memphis takes the bowl, the last of his cleaning. He smiles at you, and neither of you feel the need to say anything more. Instead, you simply exchange nods and walk your separate ways back to the bright market somehow changed. So that goes up. Fantastic. So let's go here. Let's give him the Havana data. And we get a ship mind core. Fascinating. Okay. So we can actually... So for that mission, we could have gone to him and gotten that. Really interesting to know. Okay, so we have a ship mind core. I want some scrap. Let's go here. And get some scrap. As you say your goodbyes to the other enforcers, you walk back through the low end. A cherub catches your attention. In a quiet corridor away from the main thoroughfare, someone has stuck a small recording to the wall with suit sealant tape. Written across the fluorescent tape is one word: sleeper. You peel it away from the wall, and as you do, it triggers some kind of improvised trip switch. Sleeper, Sabine's voice crackles through. I have seen you with Yatagan members. Are they holding you captive now too? A high whine. I am sorry if I've dragged you into this. Do not trust them. Something is happening within the gang, some kind of power struggle. You cover the speaker a little, their voice too loud in the quiet corridor. I will come soon. Thanks to your efforts, I have located most of their properties at the right time. A pause. I will see you soon. Don't give up. Remember our deal. The recording cuts out. You stare at the record, processing what you have just heard. Hearing Sabine's voice again opens up something inside of you. An S&ARP employee For do they know that I know? You struggle with a mix of concern and distrust. You throw the recording into a nearby waste chute as you leave the corridor, still unsure of who to trust, and head quietly out of the low end. The plot thickens. But now we can do this. Let's get a refurbish, like half-built unit. Let's get some scrap. And let's get this repaired so we have somewhere to stay. I've never done this before, so I don't know how it turns out. Okay. With all the materials, the unit now needs sealing. Okay. So it's just energy action. Okay. That shouldn't be so hard. So let's sleep in the empty container. Not the best roll we've ever got. Okay. So, how much are we looking for food? Still 15 here. We still need to make money. Okay. Let's get the units online. Man, this is going to be expensive to do. I mean, we can try a free. There we go. Sealed unit. You track down difficult leak and close it up. After working, you look over the wreck of the unit. Almost there. So we've got another upgrade point. So that will give us 2, which means we can get rid of this. I really want the discount, because it will save us money. So what will this give us here? So the units come online. Perk, safe repair, feed a stray, sunbathe, inject stabilizers. Okay, so it's basically just an upgrade from the container. So what do we get out of this? There's signs that a stray animal has been nosing around near the unit. Ah, we've got an achievement, squatter's rights. Okay. So let's feed the stray. You buy the crackers from a SOP unit downstairs and crumble them up into a tray. Something moves in the shadows. So we can repair ourselves still, inject a stabilizer, which I'm tempted to do, to be honest. Okay. The stray hops up onto a work surface and looks out at the unit's small window. It doesn't acknowledge your presence, it just sits there beside the tray of crumpled crackers staring out at the low end. What is this cat's story? Are there more on the station? You haven't seen another in low end. But in this vast megastructure that means little, there could be a whole colony of cats like this, one down in the Warrens. You look at its sleek black fur and sharp eyes. It doesn't look ragged, it looks at home. In fact, its presence in the unit makes you wonder if this stray's apartment, you wonder if this is the stray's apartment which you are squatting in. What's the stray? Well, the stray is looking out the station. You feel its attention on you, waiting for you to spring your trap. You remain relaxed and watch. Something flickers in its eyes, perhaps a reflection of a passing ship. The stray settles a little and starts eating, picking at the broken crackers. You don't remember ever having been this close to an animal. It triggers something in you, a recognition of life, totally unlike your own, but you still somehow connect, parallel, even interwoven. The stray licks crumbs from its fur. Were you born here, you say? The stray lifts its head as you speak, but looks out at the glow of the low end, not at you. The cat's comfort in this place is enough to answer your question. The stray is a born resident of the eye, like all those thousands out there beyond your window. This is, after all, a place for strays, for both those who are beginning their journey here and those who end it. You turn your eyes to the window, the one that the stray looks out of, and you both watch the stars and sip together. You feel something pass between you and the stray, a kind of acknowledgement of each other, a sense that each of you might share something with another, a point of connection. Then all at once the stray yawns wide, hops down from the unit and brushes along your legs, and then it is gone, out through the unit's door and back into the corridors of the low end. Right, let's rest. End the cycle. Okay. Not a... Moritz. Hey, a quiet voice greets you as you leave. Sleeper, it's me. Do I know you, you say? Moritz. He pauses. I work for Bliss. He rubs the back of his head. You are not an easy person to find. I move around, you say. Maurice holds up his hands. Hey, no judgment, it's cool. You both stand there for a moment, each waiting for the other to speak. What's up? Oh yeah, well, Bliss needs you. A job just came in, a real big one. She's asking for you to come up and help her out. He nods sagely. Oh, okay. I'll be right there, you say. Nice, yeah. Moritz stands there for a little while and saw if the message is delivered. I've got it, you say. Cool, cool, cool. He looks around. Bliss just likes me to do a thorough job, you know. He rubs his hands together before burying them in his jacket pocket. See you, sleeper. Moritz ambles off down the corridor, kicking at a filter cap on his way out. Time to head to Bliss's Bay then. Okay. So, I'm a bit low on energy, we can take care of that. Let's throw some money for the cat. And let's then head up. We have enough parts and stuff and we can make money relatively quick, straightforwardly, so we really have to work on this. Okay, wow. Didn't realise it was going to be that short notice. Let's get this going then. Seal the leak, yeah. So that's done, and we need to get that online. Man, I was really hoping for progress. Phew. As you both wait in the airlock for its cycle to back to the bay, Bliss thumps you on the arm. Nicely done, sleeper. We cleared that contract, no problems, he stretches. Once we are back in the bay, we can check if the payment has come through and divide it up, he stretches. Feels good. The airlock clunks and the lights flicker, and a moment later you're back in the bay where Maurice is at the racks trying to figure out where the mess of tools Bliss left in her wake should be hung. Hey Moritz, you say. Moritz looks over his shoulder. Sleeper, he spins the wrench in his hand. Looked like clean work out there, he nods respectfully. You look over at Bliss, who is already gliding over to her management console. She twirls a little as she crosses the cavernous bay. No one you ever met moves as well in zero-G as she does. It's like she was born in it. Shit. Bliss slams a fist on the console. Shit. 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 What's up, you say? I can't even. Bliss closes her eyes. Come here. Bliss calls you over. Look at this. Just look. She spins the terminal screen and you see the details of the base account. You see an entry into for the Ember's wake, a repair fee paid in full the moment you finished up the job, but then directly after, the whole amount was transferred back into an unknown account. What the hell, you say? This is the work of my ex. He punches the terminal. He must have coded the back door into the machine before he left. She rubs her forehead. There's no way we can. She pauses, thinking, Moritz, throw me that wrench. What's that for, you say? Moritz spins the wrench across the bay. Bliss smiles. This. He brings the wrench down on the terminal hard. You flinch backwards as a hail of computer parts spills out into the bay in a glittering arc. Fragments of screen memory sections of the casing. When Bliss is done, she clips the wrench to her tool belt. Try backdooring your way into that, you shit. Moritz drifts out from his hiding place amongst the racks. Bliss, he says tentatively, you want me to? He looks at the arc of fragments drifting around the bay nervously. She shakes her head. No, she sighs. I've got it. You can get me a new terminal, cheapest one you can find. Copy one together from pieces at the auto exchange, if you have to. Can I help? Bliss glides over to the panel by the wall. Don't worry. One of the first things I installed when we spec'd out this place was a clean-up sweeper. She flicks over a plastic cover of a huge red button. Watch yourself. She hammers the button and a row of lasers emitters unfold from the bay wall. They start crawling their way across the working area, frying the debris as they do in pulses of burning light. Bliss smiles. It's that or just space the whole bay every few cycles. What now, you say? Bliss sighs. We keep at it. The cleaning sweeper buzzes and crackles as it works its way across the bay. That account wasn't everything. I'm not stupid. Once Moritz gets back, I'll secure it and flush it and everything else. She flicks a notable piece of debris into a path of the sweeper. Clean break. Then we take another contract. That's it. She shuts off a sweeper as she reaches the near end of the bay. You don't want the cryo back? Oh, I want it, but it's gone. He could have transferred it anywhere. She looks out across the hub, and even if I knew where he was, the last thing I want is to ever see him again. She rubs her forehead. I'm sorry, Sleeper. I know you worked hard for this, but next time, it won't be the same. It'll not be, you say. She looks away. See you in a few cycles. Moritz will let you know. She kicks off into the bay to finish cleaning up. Okay, so that's going to take 4 cycles to come online. Okay. A glint like light travels along the edge of your wave, fills your eyes. When the blade follows, a long head with 2 dead. Yeah, okay. We know this. You freeze, hoping it will pass you by, hoping that you simply slice through you like air. The blade nears, slides past you almost. It nicks you, grazes you. You are desperate to cry out, to call out, but you hold your silence and simply watch as the blind eyes of the killer glide past, empty and unthought. The blade winks into the dark and you are alone again. Now you cry out. Yeah, so every time we dive into the eye, that thing's going to be annoying. And we have no easy way of getting into the mainframe. No, stop pressing that button. What am I doing? Oy. Okay. So that took a chunk out of her health, which I'm not happy about. That's ongoing. Data-wise, I can throw some stuff at him. Get a bit of cryo. Not a lot. Caster is fully up and done, so we've got no way of getting anything out of him. And with a 1, we haven't got a lot of we can do. I can throw some information at Yataghan. I can throw some Yataghan data at these guys, which will help clear out a bit of stuff. What else can we do? Do a bar shift? Sure, why not? Yeah, got some cryo. Okay. Let's head back to our repaired unit. Throw a little bit more money at the cat. And then end the cycle. Not a bad start. Okay. So we need to make money. See, he's not coming online for another 4 turns. Let's throw this here. Get some money, get some scrap. And they're going to be gone next turn, next cycle. Okay. So can't do anything up there. So let's cross over. Farm stacks, we can do some stuff. Which work stacks, which will give us money. Barter for food. Pay for member. Part of the coin is to work your way in through long surface. It isn't for everyone. We can scavenge for scrap. What do they need out of us for this bit of the story up here? Girolles. And that's the next chapter of the story. Okay. Can we see anything here? The gateway is still... Ah, yeah. So we need to actually do these people's thing if we actually want to get... If we want to actually get... Get into the commune. Okay. It's going to take ages though. But it should give us at least an okay start to get in. Get some energy back. What's this new drive? Work for Reba. Join the hyper commune. Okay. I just want the key to get in. Okay. Let's do a bit more work for Yatagan. Right here. We get a bit of energy. No scrap. Right. End the cycle. That isn't great. Feed the stray. That's gone. That's gone. Those dice aren't great. Let's go up the tower. Another 2 cycles before that comes online. Yeah, there's... It's not great, and that's for food as well. Okay. So let's cross over. Right, so... We could do this, clear undergrowth, to allow us to grow our own supplies. Work here for food. Work here to do some work would give us a bit of money, actually, would be nice. A little bit. Not great. Okay, that's fine. Let's throw this in here. And get that done. We get an upgrade point. So that's 2. So we can then get 20% off all cryo actions, which is really good. There's a dorm which perks self-repair. Okay. Sunbathe. So that gives us basically a place to sleep. And then we have Rico. Oh, Ryko? Or is it Rico? You head down into the Haifa compound, following a blueprint painted line that is labelled laboratories. The member you were assigned to work with told you they asked to see you, but you still have no idea what about. The line takes you into a blue door and through to a glass roof chamber where a network of stems and leaves filter the sunlight coming through the ceiling, casting the whole chamber in a strange yellow-green. Peaceful, isn't it? Distracted by the green, you missed the woman standing at the lab bench, camouflaged by the dappled light. Welcome to my sanctuary. She smiles. Come, let's talk, she says, and beckons you close. What is this place, you say? Here? These were processing centres for the agriculture of the old corporation station. She offers a hand to shake. I'm Rico. I run the botany program at Haifa. What is Haifa? She looks surprised. You've been working in the compound for a while now. I'm surprised you didn't know more. She lifts a tiny sample jar, yellow spores dancing inside. Haifa lives off the land of the Greenway. It's what always allows us to live like we do. No one here pays or is paid. We sleep here, we feed each other, we work for each other. Rico walks away from a bench and waves for you to follow. She opens a small door and leads you down a glass corridor surrounded by vivid green. All this, she says, gesturing at the overgrowth, is a kind of miracle. She looks at you with bright eyes. What do you think usually happens to plants on stations like this when they are abandoned? They keep growing, you say. If only that was true, but no, they do not. They dry up, and then they die. She leads you left at the crossroads, but here they endure. She smiles up to herself. Actually, no, they thrived. She looks at the bright tendrils wrapped around the metal frames of the corridor. They look dormant, strong, like they are taking control of this place. Rico continues. Of course, Solheim tried to create a stable biosphere here, patchworking the surface with gardens and algae tanks that fed into a network of microbial reclamation systems, but the Greenway was always envisioned as an extractive, a place from which the harvest removed and sold to those living on the station, not a closed loop. For this reason, when the collapse came, the Greenway should have gone with it. Erlin himself was so convinced of it that his first colony never even came here to try and reclaim it. The Eye instead relied on itself on outside favours and influences, shipments from the inner system, and small-scale agriculture systems like kelp and fungal farm stacks. And yet, here we are, amongst growth and decay, a biosphere flourishing. When Haifa came here, we expected to find only vacuum-dried stalks and leaves, perhaps some fungal colonies hidden in the mulch. But we found a jungle. With this, Rico hits a button on the wall and leads you through a large pair of double doors into a huge impossible chamber. It is every kind of green, from pale algae tanks to the dark vines that surround them. It is wet too, a rarity on the Eye. Condensation clouds the light from the high glass roof and gathers on the shiny, broad leaves of shrubs. How, you say? That's exactly our question. Rico turns to you, visibly excited by the room you've both standing in. It doesn't make sense, but in many ways the system has stabilized. Unlike the farm stacks close to the gap, who need input to support their meager output. This place runs itself. Perhaps Solheim managed something new here. Perhaps they tweaked the plants or built new systems very deep below us. Or perhaps their collapse caused some fortune cascade, an unlikely chemical reaction within the biosphere. That's what I'd like you to help me find out. She turns to you, her forehead wet with dew. Aren't you the botanist, you say? Astutely noticed, but I don't need a botanist. Rico sits on a rail. These halls run deep, Sleeper, and I'm getting old. She stomps her foot on the metal grating of the walkway. Whatever is causing this is to be found in the groves deep in the Greenway. Haifa won't spare anyone for expedition. It's too dangerous and unnecessary, they say. I can make the case, but I won't get the votes. You sleepers are hardy beings, I know that much, and you can speak to the eye, uncover its secrets in ways I can never. She holds out an arm so you can help her stand. Bring me samples, spores, seeds, and blooms. I can grow them in the lab and study them. The deeper they are found, the better. I will try, you say. Thank you, she smiles, and thank you for listening. She leads you back out of the huge chamber and up through the passages. She is a little slower now and stumbles on the steps. You help her where you can. It's good to have new blood in the commune, she says. Many of us have been here a long time and few come through. She settles back at her bench in the lab, stretching her legs. You go to leave. Come back if you find something, Sleeper, she calls. There are discoveries to be made. And you follow the blue line back to the compound, all the time thinking of the impossible and magical green. Okay. So we have the labs. Deliver spores. Okay. The Aviary collects spores, yeah. I just want to see what we can get. Okay, so we get spores. So she needs 3 of them. I mean, I have nothing else to use this on for right now, so let's just start. Sunlit Refuge, okay. But yeah, that's where we're going to stop for now, folks. Wow, I thought we were going to be in for a bit more of an incident, but it seems that it's going along fairly okay for the time being. Some things are happening, some other stories are going on. What I want to do is I probably want to save up my points from now on and get a +2 on rolls. But the discount was really good, the reroll was really good, the double data was really good. So we just had to see how all this goes. I've been Cornish-knight, this has been Citizen Sleep, and I shall see you all next time, folks. Goodbye.